हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Dear devotees, Dandavat Pranam to all of you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for your kind association. Let's get started with our study of Grantharaj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदां सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः. ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Let us recite the verses for module number 2. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Uddam bhava pishuna malavalguhasa vridavaloka madano piyasa sammuya chapamajahat pramadottamasta yasyendriyam vimathitum kuhakair nashekuhu. Shri Suta Goswami is saying to Ādi Rishis, although the queens of Dwarka, beautiful smiles and furtive glances, were all spotless and exciting, and although they could conquer Cupid himself by making him give up his bow in frustration, and although even the tolerant Lord Shiva would fall victim to them, still, despite all their magical feats and attractions, they could not agitate the senses of Lord Shri Krishna. Bhavadvidha Bhāgavata Stirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Swantahastena Gadabhrita. My dear Vidurji, Maharaj Yudhishthir is saying to Shri Vidurji, my dear Vidurji, devotees like your good self are verily holy places personified. Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho, your holy places personified. And because Swantahasthena Gadabhrita, because you carry Shri Gadadhar Krishna within your heart, Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani. You turn all places into places of pilgrimage. Tulayama lavenapi naswargam na punarbhavam bhagavat sangi sangasya martyanam kimutashishaha. Ādi Rishis are saying to Shri Suta Goswami, the value of a moment's association with the devotee of Lord Krishna cannot even be compared to attainment of heavenly planets, Swargam, or liberation from matter, Na Punarbhavam. What to speak of worldly benedictions in the form of material prosperity. Material prosperity. What is that? It is meant for those, it is for those who are meant for death. Mrityanam. Mrityanam, those who are meant for death. For them, worldly benedictions are meant. But the value of a moment of association with a sadhu is incomparable. It is priceless. Tiraskrita vipralabdha kshaptaha kshipta hata api nasya tat pratikurvanti tad bhaktaha prabhavopihi. The devotees of Lord Krishna, the Vaishnavas, are so forbearing that even though they are defamed, cheated, cursed, disturbed, neglected, or even killed, they are never inclined to avenge themselves. Nasyatat pratikurvanti. Nasyatat pratikurvanti. They don't want to take revenge. They are very tolerant. Tarorapi sahishnu. Punascha bhuyad bhagavatyanante rati prasangascha tad ashrayeshu mahatsuyamyam upayami srishtim maitastu sarvatra namo dvijebhyah. Maharaj Parikshit is saying to all the sadhus who have assembled on the banks of Ganga Ji, again offering obeisances unto all you Dvijas, all you Brahmanas, I pray that if I should again take my birth in the material world, I will have complete attachment to the unlimited Lord Krishna, Bhagavat Anante, unlimited Lord Krishna. I may have association of his devotees and I may have friendly relations with all living beings. Shri Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Gadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha. Dear devotees, we are continuing our study of Grantha Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 10, entitled Departure of Lord Shri Krishna for Shri Dwarka Dham. Text number 27 onwards. The ladies of Hastinapur, who are not only relatives of Krishna, but they also love Krishna. And sensing the impending separation from Lord Krishna, they are offering these prayers. They are offering these prayers. I had to switch off the fan. Aho bataswar yashasas tiraskari kushasthali punya yashaskari bhuvaha pasyanti nityam yad anugrahe shitam smitavalokam swapatim smayat prajaha. Thank you. Translation and purports. Translations and purports by our most beloved founder Acharya, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Paramhamsa Parivrajaka Ashtottar Shata Shri Śrīmad Abhay Charana Arvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Undoubtedly, it is wonderful that Dwarka has defeated the glories of the heavenly planets and has enhanced the celebrity of the earth planet. The inhabitants of Sri Dwarka Dham are always seeing the soul of all living beings, Sri Krishna, in their loving feature. In his loving feature. The residents of Dwarka are always seeing Krishna, who is the soul of all living entities, as Swapati, in his beautiful loving feature, as their relative. He glances at them and favors them with sweet smiles. Anugraha ishitam smita avalokanam. Smita means smile, avalokanam means to glance at them. So the ladies of Hastinapur are glorifying the good fortune of the residents of Dwarka. We saw how a devotee always sees the good fortune of others and sees the misfortune of oneself. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Srila Sanatan Goswami to go back from Jagannath Puri to Sri Vrindavan Dham and perform his service there. And Sri Haridas Thakur was witness to this. Srila Sanatan Goswami is feeling, I am so unfortunate. I have to leave Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's association and go away. And these devotees of Jagannath Puri are so fortunate because they get to live with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu every day. They get to see the daily Leela of Mahaprabhu, how Mahaprabhu in the morning takes bath in the ocean, how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes and takes darshan of Jagannath every morning, how he does Sankirtan, how he stands at the Garuda Stamba, how he goes to different devotees' homes for lunch prasad, how he comes and visits Haridas Thakur every day, how he visits Shri Gadādhara Pandit every day at Tota Gopinath, how he sits and discusses Śrīmad Bhāgavatam with Gadādhara Pandit, how he again goes and takes darshan of Jagannath, how he does Nagar Sankirtan in Jagannath Puri, how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives benedictions to different devotees, how he teaches, how he instructs, how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu relishes his pastimes at Gambhira with Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Rai, Govinda, Kashishwar, Shankar Pandit and others in the house of Kashi Mishra. Sri Sanatan Goswami is thinking about the good fortune of the residents of Jagannath Puri, Nilachal Dham. And the resident of Jagannath Puri, Srila Haridas Thakur, is thinking about the good fortune of Srila Sanatan Goswami. As Sanatan Goswami is thinking, I am most unfortunate, I have to leave the association of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and go to Vrindavan. Srila Haridas Thakur tells Srila Sanatan Goswami that प्रभु कहे तोमार देह मोरा निज धन, तोमा सम भाग्यवान नाही को न जान. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells Srila Sanatana Goswami that your body belongs to me. Don't think of committing suicide. You go to Vrindavan and you fulfill the mission that I have given you. Krishna Prema, Krishna Bhakti, Seva Pravartan, Lupta Tirtha Uddhara, or Vairagya Shikshan. So many missions I have given you to be performed in Vrindavan Dham, excavating the lost holy places, writing books, building temples, showing the behavior of a Vaishnava, writing the manual for Vaishnava etiquette, Hari Bhakti Vilas. So much I have given you. So many tasks, missions I have given you. Go and fulfill my mission. I want to go to Vrindavan, but because my mother told me to live in Jagannath Puri, I cannot go. So you go and you do what I am supposed to do, what I want to do. Why? Because your body belongs to me. Your body is an extension of my body, and therefore I empower you. Go to Vrindavan and do all this. Aha. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says this to Srila Sanatana Goswami, Sri Haridas Thakur Mahashay says, Prabhu kohe tomar deha mora nija dhan, toma sama bhagyavan nahi ko na jan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has accepted your body, O Sanatana Goswami, as his body. Who can be more fortunate than you? Prabhu kohe tomar deha mora nija dhan, toma sama bhagyavan nahi ko na jan. Amara deha prabhur karya na lagila, Bharat Bhumi Janma Mora Jivan Vyartha Gela. Srila Haridas Thakur says, your body is Mahaprabhu's body. Who can be more fortunate than you? Whereas, as far as I am concerned, my body could never serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I am always at a distance from him. I could never perform any service to Mahaprabhu. Mora deha prabhura karye na lagila. Bharat Bhumi Janma Hela. Deha Vyartha Gela. So even though I was born in India, very fortunate place, Dhanya Bhumi, Bharat Bhumi, but because my body was never used in the service of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my life is useless. My life is useless, Haridas Thakur says. And Sri Sanatana Goswami tells Srila Haridas Thakur, आपने आचार्य केह ना करे प्रचार, प्रचार करे न केह ना करे आचार, आचार प्रचार नामे कर दुई कार्य, तुम्ही सर्व गुरु तुम्ही जगतेर आर्य. सनातन कहे तोमा सम के बान, महाप्रभु गण तुम्ही महाभाग्यवान. Sanatana Goswami tells Haridas Thakur, Sanatana kahe, toma sama ke baan. Who is equal to you, Haridas Thakur? Toma sama ke baachayan. Who is equal to you, Haridas Thakur? Mahaprabhu gana tumi mahabhagyavan. You are Mahaprabhu's gan. You are Mahaprabhu's parshad. Mahaprabhu advented in Navadvip answering your prayers, answering Shri Advaita Acharya's prayers, answering Srila Srivas Thakur's prayers. Mahaprabhu is an answer to your prayers. Mahaprabhu came to reciprocate with your prayers. He descended because of you, Haridas Thakur. You saw his pastimes in Navadvip. You are seeing his pastimes in Jagannathpur. You are Mahaprabhu Gana. You are his parshad. Sanatana kahe toma sama ke vachayan. Mahaprabhu Gana tumi mahabhagyavan. See, Srila Sanatana Goswami is saying Haridas Thakur's good fortune. Haridas Thakur is saying Sanatana Goswami's good fortune. The residents of Dwarka are thinking Hastinapur residents are so fortunate. Krishna is spending so much time with them, even though there is no direct relationship. He's our husband, he's our father, he's our son, but he spends so little time in Dwarka. They are thinking like that in separation. Viraha Dasha. Whereas Hastinapur residents are thinking, undoubtedly it is wonderful that Dwarka has defeated the glories of the heavenly planets. Dwarka is superior to the heavenly planets. And Dwarka has enhanced the beauty of earth. Because Dwarka is on earth planet has become glorious. The inhabitants of Dwarka are always seeing Krishna in his loving feature. And Krishna also reciprocates and glances at them and favors them with sweet smiles. Aha. The ladies of Hastinapur are glorifying the good fortune of the residents of Dwarka, that Krishna reciprocates with them, looks at them with love, smiles at them. Aho Bhagyam. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The heavenly planets are inhabited by demigods like Indra, Chandra, Varun, Vayu, etc. The pious souls reach the heavenly planets after performance of many virtuous acts on earth. This is a very important Siddhanta. Karma can be performed on earth. Karma is not to be performed in the heavenly planets or hellish planets. Earth is the karma bhumi. Pious, impious acts are performed on earth. Based on that, you go to heaven to enjoy, or you go to hell to suffer, or you stay here to perform more karma. So even the demigods, if they want to do bhajan, they have to take birth on earth. Therefore, it is said that the demigods come when the Lord advents, so that they can do bhajan and they can also get real liberation. Like that. So Prabhupada clearly says, one can go to the heaven, first sentence of the purport. Heavenly planets are inhabited by demigods, and pious souls reach there after performance of many virtuous acts on earth. So this is important Siddhanta to understand. The duration of life in the heavenly planets is 10,000 years. On earth, it is less than 100 years. There it is 10,000 years. 10,000 earthly years. 6 months on earth is equal to 1 day in the heavenly planets. This also we must remember. 6 months on earth is equal to 1 day in the heavenly planets. Facilities of enjoyment are also similarly enhanced in the heavenly planets. And the beauty of the inhabitants is also legendary. So people in heaven planets are more beautiful, they enjoy more, quality of life is better, and they live longer. The heavenly planets are more celebrated than Earth, naturally. Earth, there are so many problems, so many diseases. There is no COVID-19 pandemic in the heavenly planets. So heavenly planets are better than Earth. So they are more celebrated than Earth. But the celebrity of Earth has defeated that of heavenly planets because Dwarka, where Lord Krishna reigned as king, is on Earth planet. This is the paradox. Even though on a material platform, the heavenly planets are far superior to Earth planet. But because Krishna appeared on Earth, Krishna didn't appear in Tapalok or Maharlok or Swargalok or even Brahmalok. Krishna appeared on the Karma Bhumi, Earth, Bhudevi. Because Krishna appeared on Bhudevi, and Krishna made his dham also appear here, Dwarka Dham. Therefore, now Earth has become more glorious, more celebrated than the heavenly planets. Three places, namely Shri Vrindavan Dham, Shri Mathura Dham, and Shri Dwarka Dham, are more important than the famous planets within the universe. So there may be famous planets within the universe, but better than them are these three places on Earth. Which are they? Dwarka, Mathura, Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada writes further, these places are perpetually sanctified. Not that these places were holy when Krishna was performing his Prakata Leela. No, these places are always sanctified, always pure, always glorious. They are perpetually the holy lands of the Lord. And the inhabitants still take advantage of the holy places, even though Lord Krishna is now out of their sight. So there are three types of Vrindavan. There is the Vrindavan, there is a Prakata Leela, which happened 5,000 years ago when Krishna was here in Vrindavan for approximately 11.5 years. Here in the purport, Prabhupada writes 16 years. That's okay. It can be Kalpa Bhed. Another reconciliation is that Krishna, although he was 11 years old, he appeared to be 15, 16 years old. He performed Leela also of a 15, 16-year-old boy, like that. So Prabhupada is also right. And our other acharyas are also right, who say that Krishna was around 11.5 years old when he left Vrindavan to go to Mathura. So both are right. Because in the purport, Prabhupada writes Krishna was 16 years old. One of the purports, I don't know which purport it is. So they are perpetually holy. And so there are three types of Leela. There is the Prakata Leela, which happened 5,000 years ago when Krishna was present in Vrindavan, personally, physically. Then there is the Aprakata Leela, which happens eternally. It is not visible to us, but it is always happening. In this Dham, which is non-different from the Golok Vrindavan Dham in the spiritual realm, always there is Leela going on, Aprakat Leela in Golok Vrindavan, always going on. We cannot see it, it's called Aprakat Leela, because it's not manifested to us, but it is going on. In the spiritual dimension, it is going on. And then there is a Drishyaman Dham. Drishyaman Dham is the Vrindavan Dham that we see today on October 28th, 2022. In America, October 27th. So it is the Leela that it is a dham that we see today, with all the traffic and all the concrete and marble and everything that we see today in Vrindavan. That is the Drishyaman dham. It is also dham, but it seems to be covered with a layer of Maya, because we are not qualified to enter the dham. So Drishyaman dham. But Prabhupada is saying whether it is Prakata dham, Aprakata dham, or Drishyaman dham, Shri Vrindavan dham is Shri Vrindavan dham. It is always pure and sanctified. And people, devotees live in Vrindavan dham, even Drishyaman dham, to take advantage, and they make spiritual advancement, Srila Prabhupada says. These dhams are perpetually the holy lands of Krishna, and the inhabitants still take advantage of the holy places, even though the Lord is now out of their sight. Krishna is Ishwara Sarva Bhutanam Rajadesha Arjuna Tishtati. He is the soul of all living beings. And Krishna is soul of all living beings, and he desires always to have all living beings in their swarup or in their constitutional position to participate in transcendental life in his association. This is very important. Please pay attention to this sentence. Many times a question is asked कि हाँ भगवान की इच्छा नहीं थी इसलिए नहीं हुआ. It was not Krishna's desire, that's why I could not come to the temple. I could not attend the yatra. I missed the class. भगवान की इच्छा थी. जब भगवान की कृपा होगी तब भजन करेंगे. When Krishna gives his mercy, I will start my bhajan. But these are all excuses. Here Srila Prabhupada writes, Krishna desires always, not sometimes, always. Krishna desires always to have all living beings, not some. All living beings always, Krishna wants all living beings always in their swarup or in their constitutional position to participate in transcendental life in his association, in his personal association. So Krishna wants Mam Evashyasi. You will certainly come to me. Man mana bhav mad bhakto mad yaji mam namaskuru Mam Evashyasi. You come to me. Krishna wants us to come to him. He is inviting us in Bhagavad Gita, so many places. Krishna's attractive features and sweet smiles go deep into the hearts of everyone. Prahasitam priya prema vikshanam viharanam chate dhyana mangalam rahasi samvido yaridi sprishaha kuhakano mana shobhayanti. And the first part of this purport and the verse, that this earth is become very glorious because the dham is here, that corresponds to which verse of Gopi Geet? Anybody? Raise your hand. Yes, Shama Kishori Mataji.
Jayatita idikam janmana vrajam.
Excellent, excellent. So Krishna's beautiful form, Krishna's sweet smiles go deep into the hearts of everyone. And once it is so done, the living being is admitted in the kingdom of God, in Golok Vrindavan, from which no one returns. Please look at Prabhupada's purport. Prabhupada says, no one returns. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. So we are Nitya Baddha. We have always been Baddha. We were never with Krishna. And once we attain Krishna, we will never come back again. So we should not think that we were with Krishna, but we made a mistake in Golok Vrindavan. Nobody makes mistake in Golok Vrindavan. Nobody falls from Golok Vrindavan. Prabhupada never said that. We are always away from Krishna. We are always Nitya Baddha. Nitya Baddha. We are always Baddha. But when we go back to Krishna, we should not think that, oh, after all this parishram, after all this bhajan, I will go to Golok Vrindavan, but maybe in the future I'll again fall down. No, no, no. Prabhupada writes clearly. We are admitted in the kingdom of God from which no one returns. Yad gatva na nivartanta dhama paramam mama. Lord Krishna is very clear. So we should never have this anxiety or fear that once we attain Krishna, we will fall down again in this material world. Never. It's never going to happen like that. Never. Never. No one falls from Golok Vrindavan. Which means we were never in Golok Vrindavan. Because if we fell from Golok Vrindavan, then this sentence is wrong. Prabhupada's sentence is wrong in the purport, and Krishna's own words in Bhagavad Gita are wrong. Yad gatva na nivartat dhama paramam mama. No. There is no satta. There is no jurisdiction of Maya in Golok Vrindavan. How can anybody fall? How can anybody be overcome by Maya in Krishna's presence in Golok Vrindavan? Impossible. So Jaiva Dharma clearly explains, we were never in Vaikuntha, we were never in Golok Vrindavan. And once we go there, we will never fall back again in the material world. Srila Prabhupada sometimes to explain to people, newcomers, especially people belonging to the Christian religion, because they have the story in the Holy Bible of the original sin and how we fell from the Garden of Eden. I don't know that story too well, but how we fell, we ate the forbidden apple, the forbidden fruit, and then we became sinful and we fell. Otherwise, everything was blissful. Because they come from that kind of background, that kind of understanding, to make them do bhajan, to make them engage in devotional service, because some guilt is required for that. So Prabhupada sometimes to make them, he said, yes, we made a mistake and that's why we have come down, fallen down. Now we have to go back to Godhead, like that. Prabhupada explained. But that is time, place, circumstances. That cannot be taken as an eternal siddhanta. That is to make them understand that because that was the background they have, Adam and Eve background. So for their sake, Prabhupada sometimes said like that. But in his purports, Prabhupada is very clear. And that is the main praman that we use. Srila Prabhupada's books. Books are the basis, not room conversations. Yes, room conversations, we accept them, but we have to take them with the context. Time, place, who is the audience Prabhupada is speaking to? Some instructions that Prabhupada gives during morning walks and room conversations, they're eternal instructions for all disciples for all time to come. Yes. Some may be specific, time, place, and circumstances, individual instructions, which cannot be generalized. But Srila Prabhupada's books are for everyone for all time to come. Srila Prabhupada said, I will live through my books. Everything is there in my books. Books are the basis. So it's very clear. So this Siddhanta, as Bhakti Vaibhava students, we should be very clear. There should be no confusion about this. We never fall down from the spiritual world. Any person engaged in devotional service of the Lord is recommended to live in one of the above mentioned three places, namely Dwarka, Mathura, or Vrindavan. Look at this. Srila Prabhupada is clearly recommending that we should try to live in the Dham. We should try to live in the Dham. Everyone. We should have this hankering that I want to live in the Dham. Kshantir avyartha kalatvam viraktir manashunyata ashabaddham samutkantha namagane sadaruchi asaktistat gunakhyane Preetistat vasati sthale. Preetistat vasati sthale. We should have preeti, attachment for living in the holy dham. So Prabhupada says, any person, not some persons, any person engaged in devotional service of the Lord is recommended to live in one of the above mentioned three places, namely Dwarka, Mathura, or Vrindavan. Why? Prabhupada explains, because devotional service in these three places is magnified. Prabhupada is writing in the purport. It is a fact that any devotional service, any bhajan we do in the dham is magnified. It is multiplied. We get more benefit. It is magnified in the dham. Those who go there to follow the principles. And we have to follow the revealed scriptures. Not do bhajan the way we want. मनमानी आचरण नहीं करना है. जैसा शास्त्रों में प्रमाणित है, वैसा भजन करना है. Our bhajan is based on the shastras. Shruti, Smriti, Purana adi. Pancharatri vidhim vina aikantiki harer bhakti utpate kalpate. We have to do bhajan according to our shastra. Surely such devotees achieve the same result as obtained during the presence of Lord Krishna. Dekho, if we live in the dham even today in the year 2022 and we perform bhajan based on Guru Sadhu Shastra, then we will achieve the same benefit that people achieved when Lord Shri Krishna was personally present here. Krishna's abode and Krishna himself are identical. This is very important. There is no difference between Krishna and Krishna's abode. No difference between Krishna, Krishna Naam, Gaura Naam, Gaura Dham, Gaura Rupa Gun, Aparadha Nahi Mane, Tarite Nipun. Now give me some examples, please, dear devotees, from scriptures that substantiate this statement of Srila Prabhupada, that any person engaged in devotional service of Lord Krishna is recommended to live in the Dham because devotional service in these three places is magnified. Please raise your hand. Some examples of some acharyas, some devotees who did this from in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Yes, Sandeep Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Guruji. Śrīmad Narada Muni instructed Dhruva Maharaj to
Excellent. Very good. Another example. Shama Vallavi Mataji. Excellent. Good, Sandeep Prabhu.
Ajamil also finally went to Vrindavan and he did.
Very nice. Ajamil went to, where did Ajamil go?
Vrindavan, Prabhuji.
He went to the place of Naranarayan Rishi.
Badrinath.
He went to Haridwar. Ajamil. Haridwar. Where Naranarayan Rishi are there. But very good. He went to Dham. Shama Kishori Mataji.
Ambarish Maharaj Prabhuji, he did Ekadashi
Superb.
in Vrindavan.
Vrindavan on the banks of Yamuna. Very nice. Any other example?
Yeah, Dhruva Maharaj did his bhajan in Vrindavan.
Very nice. Very nice. Dhruv Maharaj, yeah. Or Sandeep Prabhu said that. Very nice. Satyrupa Mataji, Janani Mataji.
Krishna had advised Uddhava to go finally to Vrindavan and Badri. Then finally he goes there.
Yeah. Badrinath, but he sent Badrinath, Krishna sent Uddhav to Badrinath, not for getting benefit of living in a dham, but because he wanted to do some confidential service. Krishna had a message for Naranarayan Rishis and the other sadhus living there. So actually to give them association, Uddhav went. But okay, no problem. Yes, Shamchandra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, the Goswamis who were instructed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to go to Vrindavan and excavate all the stalls for the benefit of the entire.
Best example. Very good. Gagan Mataji is giving another very beautiful example that Lakshmi Devi performed is still performing tapasya. Vandiravan, yes, in Rajdham to get Krishna. Very nice. Mridula Mataji is saying Ashwathama came to Shri Barsana Dham and took shelter of Srimati Radharani, who is Triloka Shoka Harini. Munindra Vrinda Vandite Triloka Shoka Harini Prasanna Vaktra Pankaje Nikunja Bhu Vilasini Vrajendra Bhanu Nandini Vrajendra Sonu Sangate Kada Karishyasi Hamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam. Ashwathama was waiting for the Kripa Kataksha, the merciful sidelong glance of Shri Swamini, Srimati Radharani. Very nice example. Meenakshi Vrajgopi Mataji saying Bilva Mangal Thakur. Yes, he came and took shelter of Chandra Sarovar, did bhajan there. Subudhi Rai, wow, such wonderful examples are being churned. Shama Vallavi Mataji, Subudhi Rai. Prabhu kahe jao tumhe aite Vrindavan, nirantar karo Krishna naam sankirtan. Yes, he came to Vrindavan, served the Goswamis. Many examples are there. Kirtida Sundari Mataji, then Sharmishta Mataji, then Ramsham Prabhu. Go ahead, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranams. I was thinking of Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, how they also became the 4 mountains. And
Wonderful meditation. Jai Ho. Nandagaon and then Barsana. Very nice. And Ramsham Prabhu, go ahead.
Yeah, probably the Naimisya Niveshyatra Rishyasana Kadya. So wherever the research assembled and that become
the sages, Shaunakadi Rishis, they were performing their sacrifice in Naimisharanya, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes. Naimisharanya is also very holy forest. So yes, very good. Krishna Pramodini Mataji is saying Srila Narottam Das Thakur was instructed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to go to Vrindavan. Yes, all Prabhutraya, all 3 Prabhus, they took shelter of Vrindavan and did bhajan here for many years. Srinivas Acharya, Shamananda Pandit and Srila Narottam Das Thakur Mahasaya. Very good example. Sharmishta Mataji, please go ahead.
Prabhuji, what about our Mahaprabhu and Srila Haridas Thakur? They were staying in Sri Jagannath Puri Dham.
Yes. Mahaprabhu also stayed in Jagannath Puri Dham, took shelter of a holy place. Yes. Very nice. Because Shachi Mata said that Jagannath and Shyam Sundar are not different. Shyam Sundar is in Vrindavan, and then Shyam Sundar is in Jagannath Puri as Jagannath. So you stay there. Very nice. And Shyamavallavi Mataji is saying, very good. Parishit Maharaj took shelter of the banks of Gangaji, Shri Ganga Devi. Very, very holy place. So yes, so many examples are there. You see, everybody is convinced about the Siddhanta that devotional service is magnified in the holy places, and those who go there surely achieve the result that is obtained when Krishna was personally present, because Dham and Krishna are identical, Prabhupada writes. And it is recommended that everyone engaged in devotional service should stay in holy places, specifically Dwarka, Mathura, Vrindavan. So very good. All of you gave very wonderful examples. Verse 28. Nunam vratasnana huta dineshwaraha samarchito asya grihita panibihi pibanti yasak adharamritam muhur vrajastriya sam muhur yadashayaha. Oh friends, the ladies of Hastinapur are still discussing with each other. Oh friends, Sakhi, just think of these wives of Lord Krishna. Grihita Panibhi, whose hands Krishna has accepted. Panigrahan. Think of the fortune of the Mahishinis, the wives of Krishna in Dwarka, whose hand Krishna accepted. How they must have undergone vows, bath, fire, sacrifice, tapasya, perfect worship of the Lord of the universe, Krishna, to constantly relish now Adharamrit, the nectar from his lips. Pibanti Adharamrita Muhur. Again and again. You can read for yourself. The damsels of Vrajbhumi, Vrajastriya, the damsels of Vrajbhumi often faint just by expecting such favors as Alingan and Chumban. Aha. So the queens of Dwarka, they are relishing Krishna's Adharamrit. And the Vrajastriya, the Vrajagopis, they are fainting just at the thought of expecting Alingan or Chumban from Krishna. Aha. Just see the Prem Dasha of the Vraj Gopis. Therefore, they are mentioned in the last line. Nunam vratasnana huta dineshwaraha samarchitohi samarchitoyasya grihita panibhihi pibanti yasak adharamritam muhur vrajastriya sam mumuhur yadashaya. Very, very beautiful. Ishvara sam archita. Archita means to worship, archana. Samarchita means samyak rupena, perfectly worshipped Ishwar. How these queens of Dwarka and the gopis of Vrindavan must have perfectly worshipped Krishna. They must have done so much tapasya, so much vrata, snan, adi to get Krishna as their lover. Let's look at the purport. Srila Prabhupada says all these religious rites are prescribed in the scriptures and they are meant to purify. Yes, Chetodarpana Marjanam. They are meant to purify. So what happens is the conditioned soul gradually gets promoted because of purification, gets promoted to the stage of rendering transcendental service unto the Supreme Lord. By performing bhajan based on Shastra, we become purified and gradually we are promoted to the platform of rendering transcendental service unto Krishna. We get seva. Therefore, our Hare Krishna Mahamantra also is a prayer. My dear Radharani, my dear Krishna, please engage me in your eternal loving devotional service. Attainment of this stage of pure spiritual life is the highest perfection, and this stage is called Swarup. We talk about Swarup Siddhi. Prabhupada is giving the definition of Swarup. What is Swarup? Swarup is a stage of pure spiritual life. It's the highest perfection where we are rendering transcendental service unto Supreme Lord Krishna. So this is the definition of Swarup. Liberation means to renovate this stage of Swarup. Liberation means to be situated in one's Swarup. Swarup means to serve Radha and Krishna with love in the spiritual world. That is Swarup. In that perfect stage of Swarup, the living being is established in 5 phases of loving service. So in our Swarup, we can be situated in 5 relationships with Krishna. Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Prem, Madhurya, Prem. Srila Prabhupada writes, one of the 5 stages is Madhurya Rasa, or humor of conjugal love. The Lord is always perfect in himself and he has no hankering for him. He is Atmaram, he doesn't need anything. He is Aptakam. All his desires are fulfilled. He is completely blissful. He doesn't depend on anything external for happiness. He has no hankering. However, Krishna becomes a master, Dasya, a friend, Sakhya, a son, Vatsalya, a husband, Madhurya, to fulfill the intense love of the devotee concerned. So भगवान को कोई जरूरत नहीं है. भगवान सत्य संकल्प है, आप्तकाम है, आत्माराम है. भगवान को कोई जरूरत नहीं है किसी की, कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है. Krishna doesn't need anybody or anything. He is self-sufficient. Om Purnam Adap Purnam Idam Purnam. Krishna is completely Purna. He is complete and perfect. But when the devotee has a desire to serve Krishna, then Krishna's nature of ye yathamam prapadyante tam sathaiva bhajamyam comes into play. The devotee wants Krishna as a master, Krishna will become master. A devotee wants Krishna as a son, Krishna will become a child. A devotee wants Krishna to be his friend, Krishna will become a friend. A devotee wants Krishna to be his or her lover, Krishna will become the lover. Yathamam prapadyante tam sathaiva bhajamyam. To fulfill the intense love of the devotee. Herein, 2 classes of devotees of Lord Krishna are mentioned in the stage of conjugal love, Madhurya Prem. Madhurya Prem, there are 2 types of devotees. Śrīla Prabhupada is writing. One is Swakiya and the other is Parakiya. Both of them are in conjugal love. Both of them are in Shringar Ras, Madhurya Prem, with personality goddess Shri Krishna. The queens at Dwarka are in Swakiya. They are duly married wives. They are married to Krishna. But the damsels of Vrindavan, they were young friends of Krishna while he was unmarried. They were Rajgopis. Srila Prabhupada writes in this purport, the Lord stayed at Vrindavan till the age of 16. And we saw how to reconcile that. These girls, as well as the queens, underwent severe penances by taking vows, bathing, and offering sacrifice in the fire as prescribed in the scriptures. Actually, Garga Samhita mentions, and other scriptures also mentioned, that many of the gopis had done severe tapasya to become Braj gopis. Many of them were rishis, munis, brahmans, many of them. They had male bodies and they did tapasya birth after birth to get Krishna. And finally they were born in the Dwapar Yuga as Braj gopis. So it's a fact that one has to do bhajan. Tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusha param. Severe penances, vows, bathing, offering sacrifice in the fire, as prescribed in the scriptures. This is very important. We should not do anything that is not prescribed in the scriptures, not prescribed by Guru Sadhu Shastra. So all these tapasya, bhajan, they are means to attain the highest stage of Swarup. Swarup Siddhi ke liye hota hai ye sab. We are doing all this for Swarup Siddhi. Highest stage of Swarup, to render constitutional transcendental service to the Lord. Swarup means to be situated in our spiritual body and render transcendental service to Radha and Krishna. Swarup Siddhi. ये जो हमारे भजन है ना, राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोर युगल किशोर, these are all Swarup Lalsa prayers. Prayers where we are expressing intense desire to be situated in one's Swarup, one's pure spiritual form. Further in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, the kissing of Lord Krishna, either by his wives or his young girlfriends in Vrindavan, who aspired to have Lord Krishna as their fiancé, is not of any mundane, perverted quality. Atmendriya priti ichha, tarabale kam. Krishnendriya priti vancha, dhare prema nam. When you want to satisfy our senses, it is lust. When you want to satisfy the senses of Krishna, Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam, that is bhakti, that is prem. It was not mundane quality, Srila Prabhupada writes. Had such things, now listen, very important. Had such things as Krishna's Alingan Chumban, Krishna's embracing and kissing, the queens and the gopis of Vrindavan, had such things been mundane, a liberated soul like Sri Shukdev Goswami would not have taken the trouble to relish them. Nor would Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have been inclined to participate in those subjects after renouncing worldly life. The stage is earned after many lives of penance. Hare Krishna. Many lives of penance. Mama janmani janmani shware bhavatad bhakti rahe tu kitve. Verse 29. Ya virya shulke narhita swayamvare pramathya chaidya pramukhan hishushminaha pradyumna sambam vasutadayo para yascharita bhaumavadhe sahasrashaha. Pradyumna, Samb, Amba, etc. are Krishna's children, and ladies like Rukmini, Satyabhama, Jambavati, etc. were forcibly taken away by Krishna when he selected them as his brides after having defeated many powerful kings headed by Chaidyaraj, Shishupal. And other ladies were also forcibly taken away by Krishna after Krishna killed Bhaumasur and thousands of Bhaumasur's assistants. All these ladies are glorious. The queens, the ladies of Hastinapur are now glorifying the residents of Dwarka, the sons of Krishna like Shri Pradyumna, Samb, Amba, the wives of Krishna like Shrimati Rukmini Devi, Shri Satyabhamaji, Shrimati Jambavati Devi. Because Krishna selected them as his brides, and to get their hand, he defeated so many powerful kings, even Swayamvar, fighting with bulls, doing so many things, finding the Shamantak money. So many things Krishna did to win the hands of his beloved queens in Dwarka. What to speak of fighting with Bhaumasur and his army to get 16,100 wives. Purport. Exceptionally qualified daughters of powerful kings were allowed to make a choice of their own bridegrooms in open competition, and such ceremonies were called Swayamvara, or selecting one's own bridegroom. Very important point. Sometimes Srimati Draupadi Devi is faulted for not allowing Karna to participate in the Swayamvar. Draupadi Devi told him, you don't participate, I don't want to marry you. And they say, oh, that's unfair. Why Karna was turned away by Draupadi Devi? Aisa nahi hai. It is Swayamvar. It is her choice. You cannot force her. She didn't like Karna. Go. You cannot participate. It's Draupadi Devi's choice. It's a Swayamvar. She will choose. You cannot force her. So there is no fault. This we have to understand, this point. Further down in the purport, Srila Prabhupada Ji Maharaj writes, Rukmini, the principal queen of Lord Shri Krishna, was the daughter of king of Vidarbha. What was the name? Maharaj Bhishmak, who wished that his qualified and beautiful daughter be given away to Lord Krishna. Yes, Rukmini Devi was so qualified. Nobody was qualified to even see Srimati Rukmini Devi other than Shri Krishna. Where it is mentioned that Shrimati Sita Devi in Janakpur, once Janak Maharaj, he saw Shrimati Sita Devi as a child. She was worshipping the Shiva Dhanush that was kept in the palace of Maharaj Janak. And while worshipping it, she used to clean. So with a cloth, she had to clean the dhanush and dust and everything, how we clean the altar, we clean the deities. So with the cloth, very carefully, she was worshipping the Shiva Dhanush. And while worshipping it, Srimati Sita Devi picked up the Dhanush and cleaned, dusted underneath, and then put the Dhanush back. And Maharaj Janak saw this. Arey baap re baap. My daughter is so special. She just picked up that Dhanush, cleaned underneath and put it down. And to carry this Dhanush, I need a army of 20 to 40 soldiers to even move it. So how can my daughter marry an ordinary person like that? Therefore, he made a condition that only someone who can lift this Dhanush and string it can marry Janaki. So like that. So exceptionally qualified ladies like Srimati Rukmini Devi, Srimati Sita Devi, Srimati Draupadi Devi, that's Swayamvar. So it was arranged for Rukmini Devi, and it was Maharaj Bhishmak's desire that Srimati Rukmini Devi should be given to Lord Shri Krishna. But her eldest brother, Rukmini's eldest brother, Rukmi, wanted to give Srimati Rukmini Devi away to King Shishupal, who was the friend and cousin of Krishna, friend of Rukmi and cousin of Krishna. Lord Krishna, but came there and he responded to the prayerful letter of Shri Rukmini Devi, Rukmini Sandesh. He came and he became successful in marrying Srimati Rukmini Devi. Rakshas type Vivaha. There were other queens also who were taken away by Lord Krishna in a similar way. Further down, Srila Prabhupada writes, all this is described in the 10th canto. Srila Prabhupada says, further down, there were 16,100 beautiful girls who were daughters of many kings and were forcibly stolen by Bhaumasur, who kept them captive for his carnal desire. For his materialistic desire, he kept them. These girls prayed piteously to Lord Krishna for their deliverance and called by their fervent prayer the merciful Lord Krishna, Bhaktavatsal Krishna, came there, released them by fighting and killing Bhaumasur. All these captive princesses, 16,100 of them, were then accepted by Lord Krishna as his wives. Now please pay attention, there is a very sweet point here that our acharyas mentioned. There were 16,100 princesses on earth who were devotees of Lord Krishna. And they were always praying in their hearts that I want to marry Krishna. I want to marry Krishna. Krishna has given me this beautiful body and I want to offer this body in the service of Krishna. I cannot serve anybody else. I want Krishna. But later on, these 16,100 princesses from different kingdoms on this earth, they were abducted by the wicked Bhaumasur because he wanted to enjoy them. Prabhupada writes, for his carnal desire. And his plan was to collect many of them and then marry them, all of them together in one grand marriage. But Krishna came. So when they were abducted and they were held captive, they prayed even more fervently to Krishna to come and rescue them. And Krishna, of course, responded, came, killed Bhaumasur, married all of them. Our acharyas explain that Krishna is so clever. He is Chaturatma Shiromani. Krishna is the most intelligent. Now imagine, on this earth planet, there are many small states. And there are 16,100 different princesses all over the world who want to marry Krishna. They are all devotees. They are Vaishnavis. Now Krishna wanted to marry. So Krishna would have to travel to 16,100 kingdoms and marry the queens. 8 principal queens he went individually and married. But now there were 16,100 more. So look at our Chaturatma Shiromani Krishna, what he did. He employed Bhaumasura to collect all of them in one place. The Asurs are thinking they can kill Krishna, but actually Asurs are being employed by Krishna to do his work. Krishna employed Bhaumasura to collect all of them and keep them in one place. And then Krishna had to just go to one place. He goes and he marries all of them. Hari Bol. Similarly, our acharyas explain that Krishna had come to relieve the burden of Mother Earth. And Krishna wanted to kill all the Asuras who were burdening Mother Earth. And what did Krishna do? He employed Jarasandh to collect all the Asuras in his army and attack 18 times Dwarka. So Krishna would not kill Jarasandh, because then who will do the work of collecting all the Asuras? He would kill the army and then leave him. Ja, और लेके आ. Go, bring more burden. I want to relieve earth of burden. Again, Jarasan would work hard, correct so many Akshahonis of Sena. He would come to Dwarka only to be finished. But Krishna would not kill him. Go, get more, get more, get more. ऐसा करके Krishna performed his work so cleverly. So altogether, Lord Krishna had 16,108 queens at Dwarka. And each of them, he begot 10 sons and 1 daughter. All these children grew up, and each of them had as many children as the father. And the aggregate number of Krishna's family, Krishna Vamsha, Hari Vamsha, numbered 10 million. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we have completed 1 hour. So we will continue from verse number 30. Today is what? I have lost. Today is on Tuesday US time, Wednesday morning Vrindavan time. So we'll continue. Granthara Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Any questions we can take? Shama Kishori Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Thank you very much for the wonderful class. I had 2 questions, Prabhuji. You mentioned that we didn't fall from Golok Vrindavan. It's not possible to fall. And we also know that we are eternally conditioned, Nitya Baddha, and then there are Nitya Siddhas. So, is there any partiality here that, somebody got to be Nitya Siddha and we happen to be Nitya Baddha? And Krishna is always very fair. So, how is it that we are Nitya Baddha and somebody else is eternally liberated? Shouldn't everyone have a fair
Yes.
playing ground or the same starting point?
So that is a very good question. And this question is not explicitly answered in our scriptures. And in Jaiva Dharma, the exact same question that you asked is raised. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur answers it by saying that it is not Krishna's fault, that much we know. It is every jiva has independence, and why we chose to enjoy away from Krishna, that we do not know. That we don't know why we made that choice. It's a wrong choice that we made, and therefore we are suffering. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Krishna bhuliya se jiv anadi bahirmukh ataiva maya tare deha samsara dukh. So it is our fault that we are Krishna bahirmukh. And ataiva, that's why Maya deha samsara dukh. Maya is giving us dukkha in this samsara. It's not Krishna's fault. That is clear. Krishna is faultless. Now, why we made that wrong choice, we don't know. It is before the beginning of time. We don't know why we made that choice. But Srila Prabhupada always said that we should not try to think why we fell here. Rather, we should focus on how we can get out of this place. Because life is short. So like that. But one thing is sure, it's not Krishna's fault. It is not Krishna's fault.
And you said we made this choice, like when we made, we don't know. Time, long back.
No, it is not that at one particular day we made this choice. It is not like that. Because the word used is anadi. Srila Prabhupada translates that as immemorial. These are Mahaprabhu's words in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Anadi Bahirmukh. So it is before the beginning of time. Because see, time as we know it in this material world, although time is a Shakti of Krishna, Kalosmi, Krishna says, time I am. Kal is a Shakti of Krishna. Parasya Shakti or Vividhaiva Shruyate. Krishna has many different forms of Shakti. One Shakti is Kal. And this Kal, as we understand from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, although it is eternal Shakti, it also manifests in the material world. When the Mahat Tattva is agitated by the influence of Kal and the 3 gunas, then the creation is set into place, correct? So, Kal, as we understand it in the material world, it has in one sense, it has an origin. Even though it is an eternal Shakti of Krishna, it has an origin. And the jivas, we are impregnated into the Mahat Tattva by the glance of Mahavishnu. And that is before time sets the Mahat Tattva into motion. Correct? So therefore, Anadi, immemorial, before the beginning of time. Even though time as a Shakti is eternal. There is a lecture. And there are some articles also which I can share. But see, this is a little controversial topic. The jivas fall down. And I don't want to ruffle any feathers or name any speaker openly. But there is a very nice devotee who is very respected. And there is a lecture I can share with you privately if you want. You can hear it. It's a 2-hour lecture on Jiva Tattva. It's in Hindi. But I don't want to name that devotee publicly. But it's a recent lecture and very nice lecture. And if you're interested, I can share that with you and you can hear it. But as far as the Vidwan, the learned scholars are concerned, they say that even our Vedic literature is silent on this particular point that you have raised. Why we made that choice and why we fell. Therefore, Prabhupada also said, don't try to get into that too deep, because it will waste your time. You will not find an answer because it is not there in the scriptures. But all this is revealed when we become situated in our Swarup. When we become situated in our Swarup, all these questions, why we fell, how we fell, when we fell, they will be answered. Our acharyas have said that. But it is not something that just by words we can explain and understand. Just like a child cannot understand, a kindergartner cannot understand PhD level topic. It is a fact. Everything we cannot understand. If every question we can understand perfect with our Kaliyug brain, then how is it possible? Krishna is not so simple.
Yes.
Then why we are saying Krishna is Achintya? So we cannot understand everything. This is a particularly difficult problem that you have asked. And even the Vedas are kind of silent on this. Otherwise, Krishna would have clearly explained this in Bhagavad Gita. देखो ऐसा था, तुम लोगों ने ऐसा choice किया, तुम ऐसे गिरे. ऐसा नहीं है. The Vedas are cryptic. Mysteriously, they are silent on this point, how it is. In Jaiva Dharma, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that it is not Krishna's fault. And he even uses the word that we have made that wrong choice. And Prabhupada repeatedly said it's our wrong choice, our misuse of independence. Isn't it? So like that.
So Prabhuji, if you can share that with me, I'll appreciate it, the lecture.
100% I will share with you.
And Prabhuji, I had one more question. Thank you for the very nice explanation. In text 28, Prabhuji, we read there was a line, liberation means renovation of the stage of Swarupa. Again, I think this is PhD level. I didn't really follow it.
Renovation also. So liberation means, see, there are different, this is again a very important point. Again, maybe a little controversial, but see, liberation, there are different types of 5 different types of liberation. Salokya, Samipya, Sarashti, Sarupya, Ekatvam, Apyuta, Diyamanam Nagrinanti Vinamat Sevanam Jana. But the 5 types of liberations are there. And one of them is Sayujya Mukti. But see, Sayujya Mukti is not even mentioned here by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada says liberation means to be situated in one's Swarup. Renovation of one's Swarup means to be situated, to be newly situated in our Swarup. The Swarup is always there, but we newly acquire it because in this material world, we are thinking this body is our Swarup. Correct? Every time we look in the mirror, let's be honest. Every morning when we look in the mirror, what do we think? This is me. I'm ready. Okay. So we think our body is the Swarup, but actually that is not the Swarup. Our Swarup is the Siddha Swarup, the spiritual body. So therefore, Prabhupada uses the word renovate. Liberation means to renovate, to be situated in our Nitya Swarup, spiritual Swarup. And Prabhupada says that in this Swarup, there are 5 types of relationships. Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. Prabhupada doesn't mention the state of being in the Brahma Jyoti. Very interesting. Prabhupada doesn't mention that. So that cannot be our Swarup. Because Jivara Swarup hai Krishna or Nitya Das. And in Brahma Jyoti, there is no Dasatvam. So Brahma Jyoti, at least for a devotee, cannot be a permanent resting place. Cannot be the ashray for a devotee. Because Jivara Swarup hai Krishna or Nitya Das. And Dasatva can be manifested only in a relationship with Krishna. in those 5 relationships. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, out of those 5 also, Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita rejects Shantaras. Rejects Shant. Therefore, in the purport, if you see later on, Prabhupada says, Krishna becomes a master, Dasatva. Krishna becomes a friend, Sakhya. Krishna becomes a son, Vatsalya. And Krishna becomes a lover. Prabhupada focuses on these 4 as the relationships of the Swarup with Krishna. So this is real Swarup. So Swarup means to be situated in this 4 relationships with Krishna. Is that okay, Mataji?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
Dandavat.
So Dandavat Pranam. So we'll have to stop, but very quickly I will take Divya Mataji. Please go ahead. I have to go now.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I've heard that Krishna was 8 years old when he had Ras Leela.
Yes, correct.
And now when I think about an 8-year-old, it's like a first grade or second grade child. So
Yeah,
how is
that's
it
why I
possible?
said that's why I said that even though Krishna was 11 years old, he was like a 15-year-old, 16-year-old boy, like that. And our
Well,
acharyas explain that itna doodh aur mishri khaya tha, Krishna had so much milk and butter that he grew up faster. That is their explanation. Okay.
Anyways, if he was like still even 11, you would think of that age like a boy to be a child. So how is it possible Gopis had the madhurya, rasavasa?
That's what I'm saying. That Krishna, even though he was younger, he manifested himself in his eternal form that he manifests in Golok Vrindavan, his eternal youthful 15 Kishore Avastha. Even though he was quite young, 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old, like that. Because he had less time, no? He was going to spend only 11 years in Vrindavan and then go to kill Kamsa. So that's why he manifested. And likewise, the gopis also, in a reciprocal relationship, they were also acting like 15-year-old, 14, 15-year-old girls. So like that. But one should not have Marte Buddhi. We should not think Krishna is like an ordinary human being. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that avajananti mam mudha manushim tanumashrita param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. That when I come in a human form, please don't think that I'm an ordinary human being just because I'm appearing in a human form. So we should not use our rules and apply them on Krishna. Krishna, even when he was 100 years old on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he did not even have mustache and beard. How is that? In our experience, when one is 16, 17 years old, the mustache and beard starts coming. But Krishna was so young. He looked like a 14, 15-year-old youth, young boy, with no beard, no mustache, even when he was 100 years old and he had grandchildren. Even when Krishna has grandchildren and Mother Devaki wants to love him like a child, he becomes a small child and drinks milk from her breasts. Because that milk is Devaki Rani's love for Krishna. So we cannot use our human yardstick to measure Krishna's pastimes. He's Achintya. Achintya guna swarupam govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. Okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.